you should see also myself. So this is a kind of internal meeting with Nuard and some of our faithful customers and some prospects as well. It's not a long tradition because this is just the second year that we are running this webinar, and it's a time for us to share some results that we had during the year. And I will start with some information about Nuard as a company and the strategy and vision and future. Then Iji will give some hints about the progress of our technology. So let's move on. Actually, all of you know what we do sell. Digital adoption is becoming mainstream in the market. So the ability to inject guiding content inside the applications is becoming more and more popular. I would say not yet in every single company, in every single web application in the globe. Estimation is that at the moment, just 16% of global companies are onboarded or use digital adoption, or are in the process of setting digital adoption approaches into their applications. So it's still a small percentage, let's say. So we can consider that maybe less than 5 to 6% of applications in the world now do have digital adoption guidance on top of it. The promise of digital adoption is becoming more and more real at the moment. So from the idea of having something that helps in onboarding users, we are more and more moving into the understanding, the common understanding that having digital adoption tools will ensure a cheaper, faster, and durable learning. So the key word here is cheaper. Of course, if it takes a shorter time to onboard our users into applications, this means saving money. But there are many other different reasons why using digital adoption tools allows less expenses in IT. That's mainly because we have a lot of applications in our digital transformation initiatives that are not properly used or are not properly accepted by the users. So spending a lot of money in a digital transformation initiative, which is not really adopted, is not really well used, is a kind of hidden cost that a company starts realizing that it's there. So spending less is one of the key things that while digital adoption is welcome. And in the scenario of digital adoption solutions, Nuard stands as one of the best in terms of total cost of ownership and return of investment. I will tell something later, but that's mainly because it's easy to deploy and it's easy to use, and also our pricing is considered to be fair. The other main reason why digital adoption is becoming popular is about process reinforcement. This is another very important area, especially for Nuard. So the fact that your users properly use the tools, especially in highly regulated markets, so where you have standards in place like ISO or FDA or whatever comes to your mind, functional safety in different sector, that's very important to be sure that when you have a tool set, an engineering tool set or a medical tool set, it's very important that your users follow the steps in the process. So digital adoption helps not just in letting people understanding how to use the tools, but also in sharing inside the company the knowledge of the processes, which is no longer a manual sitting on the desk, but it becomes automation that guides you inside the application. And this increases assurance and compliance, which is another big pain point. So let's say from being fancy technology, digital adoption is becoming more and more a must-have for these two key reasons. So this is being testified by a bunch of customers of us. I like to cite here this nice story of KUKA that you can download from our website, probably heard about that. But KUKA testifies that 50% of training time is being saved by using NUARD on top of an engineering process tool. And so this is an important figure. And also another big saving in user support, because we have 30% less web help desk tickets and a much shorter interaction time. But and the other point, which is what I was referring to earlier, is about process safety. So we ensure much bigger process conformity by means of proper NUARD guidance on top of this engineering ALM, PLM tools. During 2023, one of the major achievements, actually one of the last achievements that we had, is the recognition by Omdia. Omdia is an important analyst. It's the result of the fusion of several popular analysts like Ovum, for example. And they've been checking out the different solutions in the market. But let me spend just 1 second about talking about which is the size of the market. We are talking about a kind of a $500 million market size in 2022 and the forecast of $3 billion in 2030. So it's not an enormous market. It's not a market like artificial intelligence, but it's a significant market. And this market is shared by a bunch of vendors, not that many actually. A lot of them just start and then disappear because it looks like that seems easy to create a digital adoption solution, but ensuring that your content is properly injected in your application, is properly connected to your application, that's very difficult. So making something that works in a demo takes a short time. Making something that works really on the field every day and let anybody create the content, that's very difficult. That's the big challenge for digital adoption. Kind of challenge that, according to Omdia, NUARD was able to overcome better than anybody. You can see different levels of purple here, from gray to deep purple. And when it's deeper, means that the vendor has advanced capabilities in that area. So broad is this medium level of color. This deep dark color means advanced features. And the line of NUARD you can see here is in the middle, and actually you can easily recognize it because it's the sole one vendor in the market that has no deep no-code capabilities. Deep no-code capabilities means easy creation of content, means easy maintenance of the content, means that you don't need developers to create the guidance. And this means happier users, happier instructional designer, people that create the content. Besides this, as you can see, we are in the top 2 list of those that are the maximum number, the larger number of deep purple blocks. I invite you to download from our website this report. It contains all the details that are here. So after, in 2022, we had the recognition from Forrester being one in the top 5 globally. We are in the top 2 globally here, with a key difference that I will tell you later. So This is what Omdia says. So besides this graph, we have also this content with the distinguished features recognized in Wired. The no-code approach, as I said, is recognized to be the best. And security stands in the second place. Wired is secure by design. And this means that as you know, that we have the maximum data protection, and this is mandatory in many environments, from finance to mechatronics, to defense, to healthcare, to medical devices. Anywhere there are regulations, privacy is very important, especially in this changed global scenario where globalization is not really as it was a couple of years ago. Also, publishing workflows, personalization, and playbooks are recognized as to be top things in Wired over competition. And this is probably the major achievement that we had in 2023.
Stefano, sorry to disrupt you, but we don't see the slide actually. So maybe if you restart sharing your screen, it will be just help better.
So that's what I was referring about. This content will be anyhow available after the webinar. So for something that was lost is here. And these are the 5 distinguished features from Omdia about Wired. Security, another big achievement that we had in 2023 is related about the creation of our trust center. You can see here on the bottom left corner, Wired Security and Privacy. This is a web page. You can check it out in wired.com Trust Center. This contains all the information about how we do care about safety and privacy of your data. So back to the achievement in 2023, you might remember this chart from software reviews that was testifying that for users, for global users, Wired was the sole leader in 2022 in the top right quadrant. Actually, software reviews released another version of the same quadrant in 2023. And we are still in the top right quadrant and recognized as the key leader from our customers. Remember that the software reviews comes out from the collection of real surveys written by real customers that we do have globally, real users. But what is very interesting in this, people might think, oh, you have competition that is getting closer, because you see that in 2022, we were in a much more empty quadrant. And now other companies are getting closer and are attacking our key position. But I'd love to show to you that there is a change in the scale of the quadrant. So we were moving from 7.2 and 6 as a minimum scale. So we have now 7.2 and 6 as a minimum scale, while in 2022 it was 8.1 and 7.8. So actually that quadrant didn't change that much, but the fact is that everything has been squeezed more up to the top right corner. So this is another great achievement, being able to keep and maintain this leading position in the head of our customers. So all in all, I'm coming to a conclusion. This is the timeline, our track in the last years, and I'd like to remind to you some major achievements of last year. As I said, we've been recognized as a strong performer in Forrester New Ways. We've been winning the call for startup by Credit Agricole. That was a major achievement among 180 technological solutions. We won this contest. But in 23, we have 3 achievements. Actually, 2 are listed here. One is the ISO 27000 certification, just to ensure even more our commitment to safety, security, and data protection and privacy. And the unique no-code Indomnia market radar, as I was sharing with you before. Besides this, not yet listed here, we've been selected, we won the Big Booster contest, which is an international contest in the Rhône-Alpes region, south of France, in the region of Lyon. It's a technology contest that happened in November, and out of some 200 different participants, we've been one of the 12 winners, actually the winner in our category. So these are some of the major achievements for this year. I like also to underline the fact that we take care about UN Sustainable Development Goals. You might be familiar with 17 global goals for sustainable development that companies are asked to address. Actually, we fall nicely into 3+1 categories. The 3 categories in which we provide support to these goals are the good wealth and well-being, because we sustain inclusion of elder people and also of people with, let's say, learning issues. We also provide quality, we strongly support quality of education, and we have a bunch of cases where we, besides training an individual, we include also people with disabilities. So we also allow the use of applications also to people with issues, visual issues, mainly creating visible and meaningful content. And we also are very keen in gender equality. Actually, besides being an international team, 60% of our team are women. And we support productive and decent work because we always follow hand by hand the users and let them be more productive. So this is all for this year, and I ask Iji to give an overview also of our innovation in the technology, and then we will go back to see who is the winner of our 2023 Christmas prizes. Thank you very much for being here today, and I wish you and your families all the best for Christmas and New Year.
Thank you, Stefano, and welcome everybody also from my side on this Christmas event. Iji Walek, VP of Product here, and I'll speak today mainly about top 3 capabilities that we were releasing this year in 3 of our releases, 23.1, 23.2, and 23.3. Plus, I'll give a little heads up what's coming early 24, January 24, as a major release, NuVart 24.0. So some of you probably already have heard about those capabilities, but for those who are, let's say, not updating to every single NuVart version, let me start speaking with user segmentation. Last year or this year, we have spent a lot of effort on improving our analytical capabilities, which was also very positively recognized by the analysts and existing customers. And together with reporting, the very important capability is related to the segmentation. The segmentation of users have 2 particular benefits. It can control who can see what, but it can also control how do I analyze the data from our reporting engine. So from the segmentation point of view, you of course know that you can define, or you were able to define, a so-called visibility rules to actually ensure that some journeys are available only under some conditions. So if I have here the journey how to log in, I probably want to see such journey only if I am on the login screen and nowhere else. But sometimes I want to restrict the visibility to only some group of people, and I don't want to define the visibility rule over and over again. So I want to quickly define, let's say, a list of users that should either see this journey or have it auto started, and reuse this configuration over and over again for multiple journeys. And that's exactly what the segmentation feature is about. So in the segmentation feature, which is available in our editor, I can define special segments. I can define a segment, English users logged in. So these are the users that have the browser set into English language, and I'm not on the login screen. Of course, let's say in real life, probably most of the segments are related to your organization structure, and we provide API how you can pass us the information about in which team or department the current user is working. And the benefit is that whenever I define such a segments, I can then easily apply such a segment as a visibility rule, so I can see that only the people from the segments English browser or Italian browser will actually see this particular journey. Or I can start for say that this particular journey will be actually will start automatically only if the user is in a specific segment. For example, Italian users. Okay, so the segments can be used to actually used to be used as a visibility control. But what is equally important, that when I go to the, let's say, to the analytics for a specific site, whenever I'm browsing any analytics, I can also filter the analytics by a specific segments, actually by even multiple of them. So now I'm actually, let's say, really checking how many users are using the new VAR journeys from these two segments, however the segments are defined, and I can apply it across any analytical pages that we provide within the new VAR portal. I will again remind you that, let's say, what I'm presenting is what is part of our demo case, but in real life, really, most of you have been approaching us to help you define the segmentation based on the organization structure. If you have such a need, please let us know via support, and we will help you to define a segmentation per user group or user role. However, this is being maintained in your corporate identity portals. The second important capability I pick from the release in 23.2 version are the page views. So traditionally, what NewVart was capable of was collecting information about how are the end users being using the NewVart journeys, playbooks, etc. So how many people are trained? Last year, we also introduced the concept of the personal analytics in the 23.0, which was helping you to actually answer the questions like, is Jack being trained on the marketing journeys? Is Lucy, let's say, struggling with completing a training for sales usage of CRM systems? So really the personal aspect of it, which is strictly optional because you can enable or disable the personal tracking. And starting the version 23.0, we extend our analytical module to also track the information about a target application. So under the analytical section of our portal, we list journeys, playbooks, etc., also the activity feed, but we also have here the page views. The page views are here to actually not track what the people are doing within the NuVart content, but what they are doing with the application itself. So we actually track what pages or components the people work with most. I can dive deep and really see how many page views there are for specific pages in my application, who were the users or how many users were actually seeing those pages. I can define the quick filter, so I can define a filter that how many users are using the sales, let's say, pages in the CRM system. So you can really track any information related to the usage of the target platform. So based on that, for example, you can see how many users are using a special feature of your CRM system, of Workday, Polarion, Salesforce, whatever target application are you using. A very important feature as a complement of the digital adoption platform, because this can also help you to identify the places where the people may feel lost. So maybe you don't need to spend that much information or that much time on components that are not being used that much at all by the end users. 23.3, a very important release based on my, let's say, understanding of a digital adoption platform, let's say, landscape, and that's ability to start journey from the middle. You know, many times we hear people thinking that the digital adoption platform is mostly used by companies to train or onboard the people. But what we see that the true power is really to provide a continuous support, no matter if you are new within the target application or if you are already using it for years, but there are use cases that you perform very rarely, maybe twice a year, once per year, and you always forget how to achieve a particular outcome, how to perform a particular operating procedure. You have been trained, but you simply forget, or we all forget. And maybe you believe that you know how to do it, you start, and then in the middle of the process you realize, did you forget how to continue? And in the previous versions of NuVart, you were most of the time asked to start the journey from scratch. And within 20.3 release, we were able to change this schema, and we allow people to start the journey from the middle. We actually have multiple capabilities how to support users, more advanced users. So, I mean, year back, we added a very important differentiator, and which is called a journey preview. So actually, if I'm an advanced user, I can always just trigger the help menu and just preview the journey in the slideshow. And in the slideshow, I can just go through the slides really quickly. And if I'm an advanced user, maybe this will remind me how the process works, and I can just, let's say, finish my use case really nicely and easily. But sometimes the slides are not enough, and I really want to benefit, even as an advanced user, for the step-by-step approach of the digital adoption platform. And that's why we enable a feature to start a journey from the middle. To start a journey from the middle, we have implemented it with the concept similar that is known in the gaming industry, and this is called checkpoints. So, I mean, you cannot start the journey from any moment, because maybe, I mean, you need to first create an order before you set it to digital signature. So simply, a content author can define a checkpoints, and the checkpoints are being exposed in the user interface, and I can easily just start a journey from a specific moment, and it jumps directly to this step in the middle, where I'm now in the 44% of my journey already, and I can just continue from the middle of the process. For those who are not aware, I mean, just this is controlled by the content author. So if you go here into our journey, we see that actually for specific steps, I can actually go here under the URL and say that mark this step as intermediate starting point. So which means that I'm saying this point is really a checkpoint. It's a point from which we can start the journey anytime. What it also means that anytime you start it from this point, we also enforce the system to navigate to a specific URL. So we are sure that you actually start from this checkpoint. Like in the games, you all load a state of the game from a moment that is being remembered. A great feature that we will explore how to improve even further over next years, especially with how we can recognize what is the checkpoint that is, let's say, related to the current context. So in the current moment, the user has to select from which step he or she wants to start the journey. In the future, we would like to recommend user a right starting point, or the starting point that fits best the position of the user in the process. So these were the top 3 capabilities released over the last 3 service releases that we have, let's see, already launched throughout this year. And now I just want to finish with the last capability that is under the development now, and we'll be launching it very early in January in the version 24.0, and this is URL processing, which is really connected to what I was speaking so far. So first, I was speaking about analytics, about page views, and I was also speaking about the checkpoints. You remember that I was saying that anytime you launch a journey from the checkpoint, we get you to a particular location. But in many applications, the location is contextual. And now this is a little bit tricky, but it's an excellent feature with a great impact for the future. So I need to explain it a bit more in detail. So imagine that we are here in the so-called Siemens Polarion system. It's an ALM system. Siemens has decided to use the NuVart as a platform to onboard the evaluation processes for the potential Siemens customers. Great achievement. It's public. I'm using the official Siemens test drive server. And imagine there is a journey how to create a new task in this system. So I can click and go through this process so the system tells me, oh, I should first click here on work items, then I click here on plus and select a task, and now I can start creating a task. So to help people to create a task, I train the people wherever they should click. But sometimes you want to use a digital adoption platform also as a tool to make it easier to finish my use case. So it will be much better if the system can automatically get me already here, and when I start the journey, I will be here. But the problem is that if I want to run the same journey in another project, I cannot get here easily if you remember the URL, because the URL always contains this context, the project ID in this particular case. So when I start a journey, the same journey, I need to start from scratch. So I would be asked, first click here on work items, then click here on plus, and then click on task, and now I can create a task. And it will be much better if I start a journey and I'm already here on this page. But we cannot do it because if you remember the URL, we will remember the URL of the project where I recorded a journey. So what we are doing within the next NuVart version, we will provide an option to improve our application profiling to actually make NuVart smart about the different contexts in your application in a way that whenever I run a journey, it will run automatically in a specific context. And of course, this is different application to application. That's why it's part of the application profiling. But this will help us to quickly start a journey, get a user to a particular location, even though the location is contextual, so it depends on where I am in the current moment. You can also imagine that you want to have a journey how to check out on Amazon, and the URL is different when I'm buying an iPhone or when I'm buying a book. And you want to, let's say, build the URL based on the current context. So it's a rather technical feature with a great result to benefit from the new world differently, not just as a tool that will help me being trained on a particular process, but also as a tool that ultimately improves the user acceptance, that the people will use new word not just when they forget how to achieve something, but also as a tool that will help them to do some particular process faster, because they don't need to remember how to get to a particular place, or the system will automate this routine navigation that is just, let's say, repetitive whenever you are using the enterprise target systems. So that's a little outlook for the version 24.0, because that's just what we are finishing over this year before Christmas, because the 24.0 will be launched just after the Christmas vacation. Thank you very much for your time, and I'm now giving my presentation back, I guess, to Loredana.
Thank you very much, Iji, and thank you, Stefano. We arrived at the end of today's webinar, and extraction of today's winners has been completed. I'm happy to share with you that the winner of a free PoC is Damon Shackelford, while the happy winner of the AirPods set is Sonali Colley. Congratulations to both of you. We will contact you during the next days for further details. Thank you very much for your presence today. To all of you, we wish you happy holidays together with your families, and let's stay in touch and see you in 2024. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the winners.
Have a nice day.